Good afternoon. Hope you had a great lunch break. And now I know it's siesta time, but let's try to talk a little bit about how to do more with less. We're living difficult times. We're living times of uncertainty, I would say, where we need to keep doing things and we need to keep pushing, but we don't always know if we'll get the funding and we'll get the means to do that, right? So I'm going to be talking a little bit about starting with the economic situation and where we are and how we're doing, and then on different options and what we think it's the right thing to do to move forward and to keep running the business as it is, right? So we're living on a time on permanent pessimism, and the graph on the left-hand side, you can see that every single quarter we thought the economy was going to go worse, and it's not improving at all, right? So we keep thinking things are going to go worse. And news on media is that basically we need to cut costs, we need to cut investments, we need to be on the safe side of life. So I would say, all in all, we should stop and start crying, right? There's no way we can get out of this. But on the other hand, if we look at the economic outlook, all the countries in Western Europe and in the Western world are thinking that they're going to grow their economies for 2023. And on the other hand, if we look at where we are compared to the pre-pandemic times, economy has grown over those times, except if you're in the UK, but that's a different story. So that should be leaving us some room for optimism here, right? Not everything is that bad. But when these things happen, we tend to think, if it is broken, if it ain't broken, let's just not fix it. Right? Let's keep it as it is. We have invested heavily. We have gone a long way through where we are, so just keep things as they are. But that's not enough. Bill Gates says, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Doesn't apply anymore. If it ain't broke, it's obsolete already. Colin Powell, who's not a technologist at all, says that's only for the arrogant and the scared, that it's an excuse for inaction, and that's exactly what we don't want to do. We have learned quite a lot, and we know change is the new constant. On the one hand, expectations are changing and they're fluid. Now we no longer own things. We subscribe to things. We access to things. Best experience wins, no matter the sector. We are no longer willing to spend hours on a queue or applying for something that would allow us to kind of keep growing. And industry boundaries are falling. We don't know if we are talking to a bank, if we're talking to a startup, if we're talking to a fintech, what we're doing. Now insurance is sold all over the place. You go in a supermarket and you get a home insurance. So all these kind of things that we're used to working with and in the world we're working in are really changing. But on the other hand, every single company is trying to add services to the products portfolio, right? We want to commoditize services and to make them as products and a bundle with the products. We need faster time to solution. We are no longer willing to wait for a year to get a new car. And we don't understand that we need to call at certain times in the day to get something fixed, or we get to go to an online channel, or that we need to go into a chatbot that doesn't understand what we're trying to talk to them, right? We want to be free to make a call, to talk to someone, to go online and have the same level of resolution. So that change is there, and not every company is ready for that, right? So we know that technology is driving change, and it's technology who has allowed many companies to survive on this pandemic. And technology has really made that difference. And every single company, I would not mention even one, that didn't think that needed to invest further in technology throughout these times. So, what do we suggest? So first thing is that on this pandemic, there's companies that went online, that opened a Facebook account, opened an Instagram shop, started doing new things, while others truly reinvented themselves to become really digital. Those are the ones we call and the reinventors, because reinvention is a strategy. It's in everything they do, and it's not just optional or just a one-off. It goes all the time and all the way. And it is centered on a true, powerful digital core. Everything they do, every single business process needs to be digital. I still talk to a lot of companies where we say, no, we want to go digital with that. And for them, going digital is publishing something on social media or even doing some online transactions. It goes way beyond that. We need to understand that every single business process will have a digital touch point and will be able to be optimized through the use of that. So for us, what's total enterprise reinvention? So first of all, it is a strategy. Again, it's not a one-off. We need to focus on that. We need to focus on changing everything we're doing and optimizing everything we're doing. Because it's a primary source of competitive advantage. We need to find which are the capabilities that will allow us to go faster into this journey and leverage on them and balance on them. It goes way, way, way beyond benchmarks. We need to embrace the art of the possible. We need to try. We need to be fast in trying and be fast in failing and understanding what's happening. Because that will have a true impact on people. We need the best talent, and now talent doesn't want to work anywhere. They want to work on challenging environments, on environments that will allow them to grow, on environments that will allow them to have something to say and something to learn and enrich themselves, right? So to attract talent, we need to be able to provide an environment that's challenging enough. We need to break down silos. In how many companies, no, that's an operations topic, that's a sales topic, that's a finance topic. We all need to work together. And then again, as it is a strategy, it needs to be continuous all the time, reinventing ourselves all the time. How do we do this? How do we convert into this? I know it's very easy to say. It's a very nice consulting presentation. We need to reinvent. We need to be the champions of enterprise reinvention. But there's a lot of legacy things in the company that will not always facilitate that. We're not saying we need to throw away everything we have in the company, everything we have done in the past years, everything we've been working on. It's useless and it's not really logical to say that, right? Many companies are running, 3-letter ERP systems where they have been investing on that for many, many years, and they have come to a place where they really work and they really do the job and they're really able to control the cost, to understand where every single cent goes and how they. I have a big head, so my mic is not always in the right place. So I was saying that ERP systems or legacy systems really do a good job, but they are not prepared to go to that next level, right? We don't need to throw them away and replace them with new systems. We need to surround them and to make them work, and to make them actually work the way we need the company to work. We need to include more people, we need to include more processes, we need to include more information, more data, more knowledge in those processes. A very good example we have is we work with a utility company and they own the power lines, right? And the power lines sometimes go through forests, sometimes go through natural parks, they go, all the way around. And we need to maintain them.
You gotta change, something happened.
Okay, I hope it's better now. When I'm done, I can sing a song, okay? So what I was saying basically is that we have this company, this utility company, that owns the power lines, and they need to maintain the power lines. And they need to cut the branches on the trees that are nearby, and they need to make sure that they are doing the right thing as they should be doing. And those power lines normally, go through different places. So they have contractors to go and do that work of maintaining them. But the work they were doing, it was basically paper-based, fax-based. Go there, do the job. Once you have done the job, fax it back to me. I'll prepare an invoice. I'll send it over to you. So it was a cumbersome process. And what we have done for them is we have built this app that where the people understand where they need to go. So they have the instructions on what's the job they need to do there. For example, it's connected to the weather. So if it's going to be raining in a place, they will send them to a different place where there's no rain that day, right? So there's information from the weather. Once they have their job done, they take pictures and they send it over with the app. So the person at the headquarters approves that, and automatically the invoice is generated and the payment is generated for those contractors. With that, we have saved a lot of money and a lot of time for the process. And it's a process we would have never imagined to have in an ERP system, because it would be too tough, too difficult to work on that. So we now understand that there's things that can be done, right? But we need to understand that we want to go to that castle over there. That's our nirvana, that's our heaven, that's where we want to go, because that's where we see our customer experience processes and the experience we want to deliver to clients. But we need to understand how to go there. You know, what's the path that will take us there, and what are the gaps in that path. So we want to provide the best customer experience at a reasonable cost for our clients. First thing we need to understand is what's the road. Do we have a road to get there? Do we have to build that road? Do we have to build a bridge on the road? Do we need to have, I don't know, highway or just a small road? What's that we need to do? Then we need to fill the gaps in that road. We want to go from Lisbon to Porto, but there's a river. We need to cross that river. And we don't have a bridge now. We don't have a tool that will allow us to go mobile, for example. Or we don't have a tool that will allow us to understand what the customer is doing and what the customer is thinking. So those are the things we need to focus on building, right? And then, of course, we need to understand how we're going to go there. Are we going to be reinventing the entire thing? Are we going to be leveraging what we have and going that extra mile? So the means, how do we actually go there, right? So it's not about we want to have a new palace. We have a palace. We want to be able to improve and to optimize the way we get there and the way we operate with it. And again, digital is the core of it. You know, I don't know how many of you are familiar with golf, but golf balls have different layers. And the main layer, the red one, is where it is truly important for us. We need to have a core system that does the work, that does the job, that understands it. And again, the core system is not just IT. It is not just technology. It is a process, it's a mindset, it's understanding that everything we do needs to go digital. It doesn't make sense for us to have something that simply stores data or processes data. And then from time to time, there's a report going here and there for someone to take a look at. We need to understand that those systems need to be interwoven closely with every single business process. And by every single business process, I mean every single business process, not just the ones related to ERP. So that's, for me, what makes a difference and what's most important in the way we operate and the way we do the business, right? So in the end, long story short, we need to understand where we want to go. We need to understand that digital is the core of it, and we need to understand what are our gaps and what do we miss in our journey there, right? What are the main points that we are missing? So as a summary of what I was saying, we need to have this digital hub mindset. We need to have a creative environment. We need to allow people to think outside of the box. We need to allow people to come up with ideas. As weird as they may sound, as crazy as they may sound, as stupid as they may sound, we need to allow people to make that happen. We need to work on our processes. Sometimes we have processes that are extremely heavy, extremely complicated, and they are like that for the sake of, they have been historically like that because probably at the time they were created and they were set up, there was nothing else people could do. There was no other way to do them. But now it's about time to work on them. Digital minds, again, you know, I've said this already, but we need to understand that we don't have two separate things. We don't have a digital organization and a physical organization. Everything is combined. Everything is phygital. And related to this, we need to be fresh. We need to be bold. We need to be fearless. We don't need to be afraid of change, of new ideas, and of new things, right? So, and then again, of course, we need to be leveraging the latest technology, if possible, dynamics, but any other technology that will allow you to take and to go on that journey. Okay, so for us, we need to do this. We need to truly change the companies. We need to understand what it takes. And we cannot stop. We cannot think that the economy is going wrong, that we need to save money, that we need to cut costs, that we are good with what we have. It is true there's uncertainty in the economy. It is true we don't know what will happen. But we know that if we don't do anything, nothing good will happen, right? So that's in a nutshell what I wanted to share with you, because we're really working on projects that are making a difference today on how to take what we have to the next level on the digital journey. So if you wanted to know anything else, you can reach out to me, Juan Gutierrez. I'm on LinkedIn, so happy to talk to you. Thank you. Obrigado.